Hey there, my friend. Welcome to this episode of the Healthy Real Food Podcast. Today I'm doing something a little different. This is a replay of a keynote speech that I did. I think it was back in 2022, and I just found it and listened to it again. I thought that you would really love it. So enjoy. This is episode number 215 of the Healthy Real Food Podcast. The impossible is possible. This is the Healthy Real Food Podcast. I'm your coach, Erin Hart, a registered nurse and health coach who understands the struggle of feeling out of control around food and has walked the path of transformation, experiencing the miracle of sustainable weight loss with the sugar and flour-free lifestyle. If you are a woman who feels powerless against your cravings and is ready to live your life with more energy, mental clarity, and purpose, there is hope. Here we believe that with God, a mindset of unstoppability, and consistent execution of a winning strategy, anything is possible for you. So if you're ready to find freedom from food addiction, take control of your health, and pursue your dreams with renewed energy, support, and accountability, let's go. Hello! I'm so excited to be here with you. What is your dream? Back in September of 2020, I had an impossible dream. And it's not fair that we just did that slideshow. That just it's gonna throw me off. That was so powerful. I had a dream of living in a healthy sized body. At that time, I was 284 pounds. And I was living in so much pain every day, physically and emotionally. It hurt to get out of bed. I struggled to walk up one flight of stairs. My sweet husband had to help me to put on my socks. When my kids would want to play, I'd feel dread because I was just so tired, and then I'd feel guilty. I isolated myself from making new friends, and I hid myself from old friends because I was ashamed of my body. I was a loving mom of 3 young girls, a dedicated wife, and an experienced nurse in the hospital. My life was beautiful, and it was as I always wanted it to be. I felt incredibly blessed to have a family and a career that I loved, but my 120 pounds of excess physical weight was an expression of the emotional weight that I was carrying around, and it was heavy. I struggled to cope with the stresses of life, and I used food like a drug to process emotions and instead of face my problems head on. I used food to numb, to comfort, and to fill a void. My weight was holding me back from living the life that I wanted to and becoming the person that I wanted to become. I was a big dreamer, and I wanted more out of my life than being obsessed with food and constantly worrying about my weight. Now listen, if you only remember one thing from my talk today, I want it to be this. Are you listening? You have the power within you to create the life that you want for yourself. The impossible is possible. Get out your pen and paper. I want you to write something down, okay? Everyone, let me see you. Write this down. I have the power to create the life I want. Write down, I have the power to create the life I want. We are only limited by our fear and lack of imagination. Do you believe that? If you want more out of life, say yes. Yes. Oh, you guys, that was terrible. Everyone, stand up. Please stand up. Shake out your body. Okay, sorry. I need you to be loud and to participate, okay? You're gonna get so much out of this conference if you do. Let me hear you, okay? If you want more out of your life, say yes. Yes. Say yes. Yes. Say
say yes. Woo! Okay, that was more like it. Go ahead and sit down. Wow, you guys are awesome. This is fun. What is your dream? What do you want out of your life? Do you remember when you were a kid and you'd plan out your dream life? Well, if you could wave a magic wand today and make that life a reality, what would that look like for you? For just a moment, I want you to imagine yourself a year from now, celebrating the best year of your life. How will your life be different than it is today? Can you imagine? Close your eyes for just a couple of seconds and dream about what you wish your life could be, and then write it down on your paper. What is your dream? Write that down on your paper, everybody. What do you want your life to look like in a year? If there's something that you don't like about yourself or your life, you have the power within you to change it. If there's something that you've always dreamed of doing and becoming, your dream can become your reality. That dream life that you have, it may seem impossible to you right now, but if you really want it, it's possible. I know that that sounds simplistic and naive, but today I'm going to share with you the framework of mindset, strategy, and execution that I teach to my clients to help you to achieve extraordinary success with your life and your goals. I want to share with you my story of how I went from feeling hopeless, powerless against the food, and 284 pounds to becoming a health coach. I found peace with my food. I developed mental fortitude. I lost 125 pounds, and I found confidence in myself and in my ability to create the life that I want. I'm so grateful every day for this miracle in my life, and it's been 10 months now that I'm celebrating my new life in maintenance. Thank you. I love myself in both of these pictures. I married my husband, Matt, at a healthy weight in 2008, but my weight started to climb while I was going to school and working full time. We have 3 babies together, and I gained 50 pounds with each pregnancy, only to lose 20 of those pounds after. My weight just kept compounding. I tried so many different diets, and I'd lose 15 pounds or so after a lot of effort. But when I'd make a mistake or go off plan, I would just get discouraged and go up, and I'd go back to my old ways, which resulted in me gaining back all of my excess weight and more. I rode this dieting roller coaster until at 306 pounds, I delivered my 3rd beautiful daughter. The year after she was born, I was 284 pounds. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I vividly remember a scene of my life when I was sitting in my room getting ready for the day. I looked up into the mirror and I did a double take. I was literally stopped in my tracks because I didn't recognize the person staring back at me. It was so shocking and surreal. I'd gotten to the point where I was unrecognizable to myself. I remember feeling so discouraged and defeated. I was a nurse, for heaven's sake. I knew intellectually how to be healthy, but I felt so powerless to change. The thing that bothered me the most was that my outer body didn't reflect who I really am on the inside. I was raised by a loving mom. She is right over there. She is my hero. And my mom taught me that I am more than my body. She gave me the gift of self-worth. Even at my heaviest, I knew that I was valued and good. In that rock bottom place, staring into that mirror, a fire was lit inside of me. That was the moment when I said, enough is enough. The pain of continuing on this path was too great, and the price was too high. That was the moment when my life changed. Raise your hand if you've had a moment like that. Looking back on my journey, I've tried to reverse engineer my process that helped me to achieve such an incredible result so that I could share what I learned with others who are struggling like I was and are wanting to transform their life. A lot of people talk about achievement, but only a very small percentage of people have extraordinary success in life. You can be that 1/100th of 1% that loses all of their weight and keeps it off long term. It's possible. I found that to achieve big goals, we need 3 things. To achieve extraordinary success, you need to master your mindset, develop a winning strategy, and consistently execute your plan. Mindset, strategy, and execution. This is the framework that I teach to my clients. Everything I teach falls under these 3 pillars. And it can be applied to any area of your life, your health, your finances, your business, your relationships, whatever you want to improve. So go ahead and shout it out. What are the 3 pillars of success? Do you remember? Yes, I love it. Mindset, strategy, and execution. You got it. Like a stool with 3 legs, without one of its legs, the stool would fall. And without one of these pillars, mindset, strategy, and execution, you won't achieve success with your goal. But with all 3, you can achieve extraordinary success with your life. The first pillar to achieving extraordinary success is mindset. To master our mindset, we need a clear vision, a deep why, and we need to control our thoughts. Losing weight, winning a gold medal in the Olympics, or any big goal is a mental game. If we can first achieve our goal in here, we're halfway there. Envision your dreams as a reality every day. When I was at my heaviest, I would envision myself in my goal body every day. I remember quietly holding my baby girl when I was putting her down for a nap each day. She was this sweet, warm bundle wrapped in her fuzzy heart blanket. And I would hold her close and rock her, close my eyes, and sometimes I would just cry. I took that time each day to visualize my dream of being healthy as a reality. I imagined a life free from shame and guilt, free from hiding my binges and hiding my body. I imagined myself in my goal body, confident, skiing, traveling, playing comfortably on the floor with my kids, not dreading having to bend over and pick up a toy or tie my shoes. I'd imagine having a healthy lifestyle, free from diet-related diseases, and showing up in the world as the fun and loving person I wanted to be. I still visualize my dreams as a reality every single day. Every morning, I envision myself living my dreams as part of my prayer and meditation routine. I point my mind in the direction that I'm trying to go. Achieving your goal first in your mind and having a vision of where you want to go is such an important part of mastering your mindset. In order to achieve a big goal, you need sight and vision. You need the vision to look ahead at the compelling future that you want. And you need the sight to look directly in front of you so that you can take the next step. I remember feeling scared and uncertain when I was looking at myself in the mirror. I had so far to go. I didn't yet have the confidence that I'd ever be able to be successful at weight loss because I never had been before. But the past doesn't equal the future. Let me hear you say that, everybody. The past doesn't equal the future. One of my mentors, Dean Graziosi, taught me an exercise that has changed the way that I approach life. It's called the clarity tool. When you use Google Maps, you put in your starting point and your destination. When considering your goals, honestly write down where you are right now and then clearly detail where you want to go. Fuzzy targets don't get hit. Sure, you could drive aimlessly without a clear destination, avoiding potholes, looking in the rearview mirror, focusing on the past and where you've been, but you'll crash. We need to focus on the future and not on the past. What's your vision? Where do you want to go? Who do you want to become? Write that down on your paper. What is your vision? Where do you want to go and who do you want to become? So to get from here to there, to get from where you are right now to where you want to be, in between these 2 points, we have to ask ourselves the questions, why, who, and how? Why is it important to you to accomplish your goal? Who can help you? And how will you do it? But the most important question is why. If your why is deep enough, nothing will be able to stop you. If you don't know how, you'll find a way. You'll blow past any obstacle and any excuse. My deep why was wanting to show up as the mom I wanted to be for my girls. As a registered nurse, I've cared for patients who suffered the devastating consequences of obesity. I saw the result of diet-related diseases like stroke, heart attack, cancer, and diabetes that resulted in poor quality of life and early death. It wasn't pretty. When I started having signs of prediabetes, I realized that the future that lay ahead of me on the path I was on was not the future that I wanted. I knew that I had to change. My girls needed me to be their mom, and they needed me to be there for them. When I would take time to visualize myself in my goal body while holding my little baby girl, I was literally holding the reason why I had to find a way to be successful. I knew that I was meant for more. My weight had been holding me back from doing what I wanted to do and becoming the person I knew that I could be. Life is short. The average person only gets 78 years. If you're 40, 50, 60 years old, we don't have a lot of time left. We need to live each day without regret because tomorrow isn't promised to anyone here. We're all put on earth for a reason. You have unique gifts that your family and the world need. What is your purpose in this life? And what is holding you back from doing that thing? In my career, I've had the privilege of catching a newly born baby and seeing life into the world. I've also held patients as they tragically died in my arms. On the trauma floor, I had patients who left for work on a typical day, yet because of a terrible accident, they had their leg amputated or they never returned back home. Being a nurse is a privilege, and my 15 years working in the hospital has taught me that life is beautiful, life is fragile, and life is so short. Mastering your mindset includes finding your deep why. I do a powerful mindset exercise with my clients called 7 Levels Deep. If you are struggling with your program, it's probably because you need to go deeper with your why. Knowing your deep why is powerful, and it will give you the strength to continue even when you don't feel motivated. Often when we approach weight loss, we think of wanting to look cute in jeans or wanting to feel better. These are great reasons, but I invite you to go deeper. The clarity tool and the 7 Levels Deep exercise is something that you can do quarterly throughout the year because our goals change as we progress. The 7 Levels Deep exercise changed my life, and I think about my deep why every single day. Your deep why has to be stronger than your excuses. My deep why was wanting to show up as the mom my kids need to be. And that got me through the weight loss phase, but now my why is much deeper than that. God has given me this miracle in my life. And by staying healthy, I can live my life to its full potential. I want to help others to find the joy of living free from food obsession because we all have a higher purpose in this life than weight loss. Part of my life's mission is to bring hope and help those who are suffering like I was. Write down on your paper why it's important for you to achieve your goal. Why is it important to you to become that person that you want to be? Write it down. Why is it important to you? Back in 2020, while looking at my unrecognizable reflection in the mirror, defeated with tears in my eyes, it seemed impossible for me to lose 120 pounds. I knew the abysmal statistics for people like me. But I had a deep reason why. I knew that I had to find a way. This slide got messed up, but one of my favorite quotes says, "If you can't, you must. And if you must, you can." Be careful with your internal dialogue. Don't tell yourself that you can't do it or that you'll try to do it. Tell yourself and others that you will. Words matter. It's important to identify the thoughts that are limiting us. Thoughts are not facts. We think they are, or we wouldn't think them, right? However, some of the things that we tell ourselves aren't true, and allowing ourselves to think that way will hold us back. With weight loss, what we allow ourselves to think is just as important as the food that we put into our mouths. We can't control the first limiting thought that pops into our mind, but we can control all of the thoughts that come after that. Did you know that you can change your thoughts? By doing so, you'll change the way that you act and feel, leading you to create a different result. For example, I had the limiting belief that it was hard to lose weight. Has anyone felt that way? That led me to feel discouraged and overwhelmed. How do we act when we're discouraged and overwhelmed? Shout it out. Stuck, paralyzed, you procrastinate, right? What's the result that we get when we're approaching weight loss? By acting paralyzed, stuck, and procrastinating. Let me hear you say the answer. What's the result that we get? Yes. Yes. We don't make any progress, or we quit, right? I decided that that thought wasn't helpful to me, and it may not be true. I chose to think instead that losing weight is fun and it's easy, and that I'm strong. How do these thoughts make us feel? Skeptical, that's good. Yes, it's okay if you don't believe your new thought yet. We're gonna come to that. You gotta prove it to yourself. You gotta convince yourself it's true. Yes. I thought it was hard, but then I changed my thought and I chose to think instead that losing weight is fun and easy and that I'm strong. So those thoughts make us feel hopeful, powerful, and brave, right? How do we act when we're hopeful, powerful, and brave? Yeah, how is that gonna change our result in weight loss? Are you gonna get a different result than if you're thinking it's hard? Yes, thoughts are powerful. Your thoughts matter. The way I like to bust those limiting beliefs and change my thoughts is to use the thought inventory tool. At home, you can set a timer for 5 minutes and just do a brain dump. But today, shout out what beliefs are holding you back the most and preventing you from progressing. It's too hard, too much work. What else? Too far to go, not enough time. Yes. It won't taste good. Okay, Kathleen, can you pass the microphone around to someone? I need a volunteer. Someone raise your hand if you're willing to share your thought that's limiting you and explore your thought with the group. Yeah, thanks.
The last person at the top.
Yeah, at the very top. Run, Kathleen, run. Thank you. What's your name? Oh, sorry. Can you turn on the microphone? Oh, Joe.
Phoenix.
There we go. Okay. Phoenix. Oh, so nice to meet you. And where are you from?
I had a long drive from West Jordan, so it was about 15
I love
minutes.
it. And Phoenix, what stage of your Brightline journey are you in?
Say that again.
What stage of your journey are you in?
I'm plugging along each day.
Yay, 2 years. That is awesome. Good job. So, what is your most limiting belief?
I don't know if it's the most limiting, but one of the things is I refuse to weigh or measure my fats.
Okay.
I'm like, nobody is going to tell me how much salad dressing I can put on a salad.
Okay.
And this is a good fat, and I should get as much as I want. I don't like dry salad. And this food needs to be moister, so I need to put.
This is a good one. This is a good one. Has anyone else felt that way? Yes, you're not alone, Phoenix. So, with your permission, Phoenix, can I ask you some questions about that thought?
Yes.
Is that okay? So your thought, let me rephrase, is that weighing your fat is restrictive. Does that kind of sum up your thoughts?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't think about that. So let me ask you, is that thought true?
Well,
or is there
no.
Is there a possibility that it may not be true?
Oh, I know it's my ego.
Okay.
Controlling that, because where I weigh and measure,
yeah,
I get really good results. And this is my ego saying, okay, I want control.
So Phoenix and everyone, of course we think our thoughts are true because we're thinking them, right? But remember, thoughts aren't facts. If you can realize that your thought may not be true, you can have the leverage to change it. So Phoenix, is that thought helpful?
No.
What would you be able to accomplish if that thought never existed?
More freedom, less chatter around what a meal looks like.
Yeah.
More peace, more ease, more freedom.
Yeah. So what are the consequences for you of continuing to think that thought?
Brain chatter, resistance.
Yeah.
Not admitting that I'm powerless over this.
Yeah. So if you don't change that thought that it's restrictive to weigh your fat, what will that cost you?
It will keep me fighting. It'll keep me fighting. It'll keep me resisting. It'll derail my goal of not thinking about food. Like SPT talks about, you don't think about your shower. You just, you have your shower and you enjoy it and you're done with it and then you don't think about it.
Okay, so you can choose your thoughts, which ones to keep and which ones that you don't want to keep. The thoughts that don't serve you, right? We want to get rid of those. So Phoenix, is that a thought that you want to keep or is that a thought you don't want to keep?
Well, my ego wants to keep it very much.
Okay, but what's your highest self telling you?
Well, my highest self says you are powerless over this and it does not serve you.
Okay. So now listen, this is important, everyone. Make it a practice to replace every negative, self-limiting thought or belief that pops into your mind or your head with 2 empowering, powerful thoughts. And then identify examples of why that new thought is true. Convince yourself. This is how we master our thoughts and we win the mental game of weight loss. It's not enough to just stop thinking limiting thoughts. We can't leave an empty void. We have to replace them with powerful thoughts that make us want to act. So Phoenix, if that's not true, if your thought isn't true, what's the truth? What's a more empowering thought that will help to direct your mind toward your goal and make you want to take action?
I honestly don't know because my ego fights me on this.
So shout it out,
I don't
everybody.
have one.
Let's help Phoenix. So shout it out. What's a more empowering thought that she could replace that with? Shout it out. Yeah, that's a great one. Like you could think like, I am in control. I get to choose.
I was going to say, you can acknowledge by saying, I can choose to have as much fat as I want, but I am choosing to have this amount that BLE recommends. I choose to do that today.
Great. I love that. Lori, will you pass the microphone to everyone? That's a great one. Yeah, up there. Oh, thanks. Joe's got it. Thanks, Joe, our runner. What's a more empowering thought?
I was just going to say, just going back to, I think it's in the 14-day challenge, one of the videos where you're thinking about, oh, am I never going to have sugar or flour again if I, do this program? And SPT, she said something like, tomorrow I may have that, but today I choose not to.
Yeah.
So tomorrow maybe I'll have more fat, but today I'm choosing that this is enough for what I need.
Oh, I love that. This is enough. My fat, the fat that I weigh out is enough. My food is abundant. How do those thoughts make us feel if we choose to think that? So Phoenix, do you believe that? Do you believe that your food is abundant and that your fat is enough?
Yes, I do believe my food is abundant. And I like the one of today, I choose this amount of fat.
Yes.
And it might even be, I think it's going to be more of at this meal right now, this is the fat amount I'm choosing.
Thank you. So, woo, that's awesome. So we may not believe our new empowering thought yet. That's okay. You don't have to believe it yet, but try to find evidence that your new belief is true. The powerful thought is true. So the next time that Phoenix thinks that her fat is restrictive, she can think instead that I'm in control, that my food is enough and it's abundant. That's so beautiful. Everyone give Phoenix a hand. Thank you. We master our mindset by mastering our thoughts. What we do and think today will determine who we become and what we achieve in a year, 10 years, and beyond. Our thoughts are powerful and they matter. Mastering your mindset by having a clear vision, a deep why, and by controlling the way that we think is the first pillar of success. The second pillar needed to achieve extraordinary success is strategy. A good strategy consists of a tried and proven plan. We are so lucky, you guys, because we have a step-by-step plan that's laid out for us and it works. Who knows what JFTFP stands for? Raise your hand if you know, shout it out. Good. Someone told me at the beginning of my journey not to make exceptions and to follow the program as it's written. As a 10 on the susceptibility scale, I didn't want to mess around, so I listened. And I'm so grateful for their advice. The plan works. I was able to lose 125 pounds, and you can achieve your goals too. We have an amazing strategy. It's not a fad or a quick fix. Yes, we do things differently. People may think that we're weird for not eating sugar and flour. Has anyone told you you're weird? It's good to do things differently than the societal norm because in our society, it's normal to be obese, poor, and depressed. So be weird. Like Dave Ramsey says, if you want to live like no one else, you need to live like no one else and do what most people aren't willing to do. So go against the norm, be weird. Remember, the answers between where we are and where we want to be lie in the questions why, who, and how. So after I asked myself why it was important to do this, I then asked myself, how will I do this? How will I do it, and who will help me? This is how we can develop a winning strategy. I had tried and failed so many times before, but I had a tiny glimmer of hope that after years of praying and pleading with God to help me, I reached out for help. Success leaves clues. Who can help you to achieve your goal? Find a guide, a buddy, a coach. Find someone who's done what you're trying to do and do what they did. Find someone who wasn't successful and don't do what they did. To develop a winning strategy, we need to learn from our mistakes. I love the quote by Nelson Mandela. He said, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." Take your failures and seek the lesson. Failure is the best teacher, and it's part of the process of learning. Perfection is a myth. We all make mistakes, so adopt the thought that mistakes are opportunities. We have permission to be human, and if we allow them to, our mistakes can actually make us stronger moving forward. I have made my fair share of mistakes, and I've had many moments of struggle in the past 21 months. I think that it's so true that 100% is easier than 98%. I love the saying that 100% is a breeze and 98% is a beast. It's so much easier when we're all in. But I have struggled at times myself with overeating my quantities and emotional eating. I'm not perfect. Perfection is not a healthy standard for human beings. Don't be perfect, be unstoppable. If you want to be perfect at something, perfect the skill of course correcting and perfect the skill of resuming quickly. Developing a winning strategy by learning from others and learning from our mistakes is the second pillar of achieving extraordinary success. The third and final pillar to achieve extraordinary success is execution. We have to actually make ourselves do it. We must take massive, relentless action every day. Having a winning strategy and mindset is great, but how do we actually get ourselves to do it? It's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. As Tony Robbins says, knowledge is not power, it's potential power. Execution is power. I remember feeling so overwhelmed in the beginning. Who here feels overwhelmed? Raise your hand. It's okay, we've all been there. Massive action means taking small, consistent actions every day. Did I do everything at first? No. With time, I added one habit after another. When writing down my food became automatic, I started to focus on prayer and meditation. When that felt automatic, I added in writing down my gratitude each day and just kept adding one habit at a time as I could. You don't have to change everything at once. Just focus on one day at a time and building one habit at a time. Focusing on the big goal, that huge metaphorical mountain that's in front of you, can feel really overwhelming and paralyzing. It's important to reverse engineer your goal and break it down into small, actionable steps. I love and recommend the book Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits refers to the small actions that you do consistently every day. With time and an abundance of patience, these atom-sized habits, these tiny action steps, will compound and result in an extraordinary transformation. If you focus on the process, the outcome will take care of itself. Bill Walsh was an amazing NFL coach of the 49ers in the 80s. They won 3 Super Bowls, and in his book, The Score Takes Care of Itself, he shared that they didn't worry about the next big game or the score. They didn't worry about the outcomes. They just focused on perfecting the process, perfecting their plays. He said, concentrate on what will produce the results rather than on the results. Focus on the process, not the prize. When we consistently execute our habits daily, the outcomes become inevitable. Reverse engineer your goal, find out what habits you need to do each day to become the person that you want to become. If you follow the plan each day, the weight will take care of itself. You don't need to worry about the weight. Strong morning and evening routines are key. Create habits that will help you to bypass the need for willpower. Once you do, it starts to become easy and automatic. Achieving extraordinary success isn't about motivation, it's about self-discipline. Write this down. Discipline is the path to freedom. Discipline is the path to freedom. We have to make sure that when you don't feel like doing it, you still execute. I once heard someone say, oh, you think to do this, you have to want to do it? No, you just do it because you committed to it. So consistent execution is essential to achieve extraordinary success. Mindset, strategy, and execution. This is how you make your dreams a reality. But the goal is not just to get there, it's to stay there. Sustainability comes down to two things: perfecting the skill of resuming, like we just talked about, and experiencing an identity shift. As James Clear states in his book, Atomic Habits, to create a new identity, you have to first decide the type of person that you want to become, and then you prove it to yourself with small wins. Susan Pierce Thompson said that we construct our identity over time largely by watching our behavior. It can't just be a physical transformation. If you change physically without changing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, when you get to your goal, you'll go back to your old behaviors. And I think that that's why so many people in the world of weight loss regain their weight. We have to have that identity shift because that is how we will be successful at maintenance. In this picture, I'm holding both of my girls because combined, that's how much weight I lost. My physical transformation was really dramatic, but what people don't see is the mental, emotional, and spiritual transformations that were just as dramatic. It took a lot of work. I listened to a lot of books. I watched hundreds of videos. I did a lot of journaling. I overcame emotional eating by finding healthy coping mechanisms that didn't involve food. That was really difficult at first. I struggled, I cried. I prayed to God for help and strength above my own every single day. I changed the way I spoke to myself and the way that I thought. I would stay up late into the night after the kids went to bed because that was literally the only moment I had for myself all day. And I would write down my food for the next day and journal about my thoughts and feelings and gratitude. I followed the program with exactness, the best I could. Was I perfect? No. But I was perfect at getting back on track and never giving up. It wasn't easy, but it is so worth it. Who here thinks that it's worth it? Say aye. The future is bright. My life has opened up for me. I have new dreams and goals, and I have hope and confidence. I'm a happier mom, and I have more capacity to give. I have so much energy, and I can ski, climb mountains, and my little girls and I laugh and play, and we have dance parties in the kitchen after dinner. My journey wasn't easy, but it also wasn't hard because I went all in and I followed the program as it's laid out. I changed my thoughts that were telling me that it's too hard. If you follow the framework of master your mindset, develop a winning strategy, and consistently execute, it's just a matter of time and patience until you accomplish your goal. Be self-responsible. You are the author of your story. You are the creator of your destiny. No one can transform for you. Dreams don't work unless you do. Surround yourself with support and people who believe in you and who will encourage you. Learn from those who have gone before you. Now, enough talk. It's time for some action. I achieved my seemingly impossible dream. I did it. I'm not special. If I can do it, so can you. Mindset, strategy, and execution, that's what it takes. You can do this. Now listen and remember, what may seem impossible is possible. You have the power within you to create the life that you want for yourself. Thank you.
Thanks for listening today. If you enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love my coaching program. If you're struggling with your sugar and flour-free lifestyle and want to lose weight for the last time, I can help you. Just imagine living in your goal body and having peace with food. Your success is guaranteed. To learn more about how to get support, guidance, and accountability so you can find peace with food, achieve your goal body this year, and have more energy, visit www.healthyrealfood.com. While you're there, be sure to sign up for the upcoming free challenge to learn the success framework, and click the link to my schedule for a free one-to-one coaching call so we can get you started on your success path. You have the power to create the life that you want. This is the year of you. I'm cheering you on. Now go win the day. You got this.